Hey friends, my name is Z and you're watching Yi Makes It Easy, and welcome to a new video for IGCSE at Maths. And today we have a video on questions only for quadratic expressions and equations. And we looked at the rules and examples last video for quadratic expressions and equations, so if you haven't checked it out, just check out the description or check out my YouTube channel. But anyways, these questions are from DrFrostMaths or DFM. So you can check out the PDF in the description, or you can check out my website, which is also in the description. And before you get into it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And let's get right into the first question. Find the value of x in this. 2x squared equals 72. So you can first divide both sides by 2. Which will get us x squared equals 36. And you can just square root both sides to get rid of the square for the x squared, and these will leave us with x equals plus or minus 6. And the reason why you have to do plus or minus is because that if you square minus 6 altogether, you get 36. And if you square positive 6, and you also get 36, so you're not sure which is which. So the answer is x equals plus or minus 6. And number 2, solve x squared plus 6x plus 8. So you can just factorize this equation equals 0. So it'll be this and this with an x plus something equals 0. So you're trying to find two numbers that add together to get 6 and times to get 8. And they are 4 and 2 because 4 plus 2 is 6 and 4 times 2 is 8. So it'll be 4 and 2. And if you equate both parts to 0, it'll be x plus 4 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0, which will get us x equals minus 4 for this, and x equals minus 2 for this, and therefore the final answer is x equals minus 4 and x equals minus 2, which is two solutions, right here. And question 3, solve x squared equals 4x minus 3 squared. So first what you can do is that you could expand this bracket right here because there's a square. So let's just expand it right here, x minus 3 squared, it'll be x squared minus 3x plus minus 3x, which is minus 6x. Minus 3 times minus 3 is plus 9. So that's our first clue. So it'll be x squared equals 4, and what we wrote here, x squared minus 6x plus 9. And let's just highlight this to know what I'm talking about, this part right here. So what I could do is that I could just times 4 by all of these terms. So it will be x squared equals 4x squared minus 24x plus 36. So if I bring this x squared over here, like the minus both sides by x squared, it will be 3x squared minus 24x plus 36 equals 0. And if I divide all of these by 3, like I factorize 3 to get 3x squared minus 8x, because minus 8 times 3 is minus 24, plus 12 equals 0. And I can just cancel the 3 out, and it will leave me with the final equation of x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0, which is a much easier way to simplify this and to solve this. And we have to find two values which add together to get minus 8 and times together to get 12. And actually I'll just write it on top here. So x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0. So it'll be x minus something and x minus something straight away, because I know that we need to have two numbers that add to get this and times to get this. And you can notice that the sign different. The one that adds together is a negative, and the one that adds together to get is a positive. And you can only have a negative plus a negative, or a negative plus a positive to get a negative number. And you need to have two negative times together to get a positive. So in this case, it will be two negative, because they add together to get a negative number, which is minus 8, and times together to get 12. So the numbers I can think of are minus 6 and minus 2, right here, because minus 6 times minus 2 is 12, and minus 6 plus minus 2 is minus 8. And if you do x minus 6 equals 0 and x minus 2 equals 0, it'll be x equals 6 and x equals 2. And that's our answer. So therefore, x equals 2 and x equals 6. In question number 4, for fx equals 2x minus 3 and g of x is x squared plus 2. And I haven't covered functions in my IGCSE maths course, so if any of you is watching from the future or like you all have learned functions, then this is a great recap. But if you haven't learned functions, just don't worry about this question, I'll just briefly go through it. So you can see that f of g of x, the gx is in the g of x is in the f of x. Basically, g of x is like in the x value right here, and the other one, g of f of x, is like f is inside the x value of the g. So let's just solve this first, f of g of x. So you put in gx values into the f of x, the x. So it will be x minus 3. So you can see how they relate. This g of x in this, and then the rest of the part is from the f of x. Is in the f of x. This f, and then the yellow part, the g, right here. So we can expand this to simplify it. It will be f of g of x equals 2x squared. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So it will be plus 1. The first one. And the second one, g of f of x. It will be put fx into gx. So it will be 2x minus 3 squared plus 2. And if expanded, it will be 4x squared. Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. And minus 6 times 2 is minus 12. Minus 12x. Minus 3 times 2, minus 3 times minus 3 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. So it will be plus 11. Right here. So we have to do, number 1, we have to do f of g of x equals g of f of x. So it's basically 1 equals 2. Where 1 is here and 2 is here. And it will be 2x squared plus 1 equals 4x squared minus 12x plus 11. And you can have a look first before I rub the bottom out. And I rub this out here, and this, and this. So let's just rewrite it down below. Here, 2x squared plus 1 equals 4x squared minus 12x plus 11. And if you simplify both sides by bringing like all the terms to one side, it will be 2x squared minus 12x plus 10 equals 0. And factorize the 2 out of all of it to become 2 brackets x squared minus 6x plus 5 equals 0. Cancel both sides by 2. It will leave us with x squared. Let's write it up here. X squared minus 6x plus 5 equals 0. And you can factorize this by having this x minus something and x minus something. It will be minus 5 and minus 1, because minus 5 plus minus 1 is minus 6, and minus 5 times minus 1 is 0. Therefore, the final answer is x minus 5 equals 0 and x minus 1 equals 0. Therefore, x equals 1 and x equals 5. And for question 5, the diagram shows a trapezium, and all measurements are in centimeters, and the area of the trapezium is 351 centimeters square. Show that it's equal to this, and hence work out the value of x. So there's a song for the area of a trapezium. It's like, let's say this is A, B, and C. It's basically, you add together the parallel lines, you times the distance between them, which is C, and you have the answer, and what you get? The area of a trapezium. So if you input all the values into the A, B, and C, it will be x minus 4, it will be x minus 4 plus x plus 5 times by 2x over 2. And you can simplify the bracket to get 2x plus 1, and with the 2x on the outside. So you can see that there's 2 and 2 here. You can just cancel them out because they are times. So it will leave us with 2x plus 1 and x, and that's number 1. So we know that the area of the trapezium in numbers form is 351. So we can just equate 2x plus 1 times x equals 351. Then you can expand to become 2x squared plus x equals 351. And therefore, 2x squared plus x minus 351 equals 0. And that's what we're trying to find. And to show that you've done what you have to show, just do like this and put QED, which basically means what needs to be shown has been shown. And now you have to find the root of the equation, like the x values, using the quadratic formula, because you have like a quadratic equation and it has like big numbers. And you can also use a calculator as well. It'll be 2x plus 27 and x minus 13 equals, oh, this is right clearly, x minus 13 equals 0. And this gives us values of x equals minus 27 over 2 and x equals 13. They are both in cm. And we naturally know that cm can't be negative because it's impossible. So we can just cancel this out to get this as our final answer. And therefore x equals 13 centimeter. And moving on, we have question 6. A rectangular lawn has a length of 3x meters with a width of 2x meters, and the lawn has a path of 1 meter on 3 sides. And the total area of the lawn and the path is 100 meters square. Show that this is this and find the area of the lawn. So we know that this whole area right here, the whole thing, is 100 meters square. And we know that just this right here, it's 2x, because this is 2x, plus 1 meter. And we'll just ignore the unit, so it'll be 2x plus 1 for this side. And we know that for this side, it's 1 meter plus 3x meter plus 1 meter, which is 3x plus 2. So we can just write it out here. 3x plus 2 times by 2x plus 1 equals 100 meter square. And we can expand the brackets to get 6x squared plus 2 times 2x plus 3x. 2 times 2x is 4x, so 4x plus 3x is 7x. And 2 times 1 is plus 2 equals 100. And you can just rearrange the equation to get to like minus both sides by 100 to get 6x squared plus 7x minus 98 equals 0. And that's how you prove that it's that equation. QED. And besides proving that, you have to find the values of x, because you have to find the area of the lawn. And to find the area of the lawn, you have to find what x is. So we can just calculate using the quadratic formula. And I'll just use my calculator to calculate so it's faster. And so this video doesn't get too long. So you can simplify this to get 3x plus 14 and 2x minus 7 equals 0. This will give us a value of x, or values of x, of x equals minus 14 over 3 and x equals 7 over 2, and they are all in centimeter. And we know that naturally x is, because x is, you have to times x by 3 because you have to find the meter, so that's why x can't be negative, because you can't have a negative length. So the negative is automatically not applicable. So it will leave us with x equals 7 over 2. And you can input x into this 3x right here and 2x to find the area of the lawn. So the area of the lawn, oops, let's just change color. The area of the lawn is 3x times 2x, which is just 3 times 7 over 2 plus, times 2 times 7 over 2, which is 3 times 7 over 2 is, let's see, 3 times 7 over 2. You get this with a fraction of 21 over 2 times by 7. And if you do 21 over 2 times by 7, it will leave it with a fraction, which is 147 over 2, which is 73.5 meter square. And that's our final answer, 73.5 meters square. And you can leave it in both fraction or decimal. And then question 7, we have solve 5 over x plus 2 plus 9 over x minus 2 equals 2. So what you can do is that you can cross multiply both these sides, like cross, to get a value equal to, and let's just do that. It will be 5 x minus 2 all over something like 9 times x plus 2, and it will be x plus 2 and x minus 2 all equal to 2. So you can just simplify the top side to get 5x minus 10 plus 9x plus 18 and x squared minus 4, because it's a difference of 2 squared, equal 2. And you can just simplify it to 9 plus 5 is 14x, and 18 minus 10 is plus 8 to get equal to 2x squared minus 8. And you can rearrange the equation to get 2x squared minus 14x minus 16 to bring all of it to one side. And you can notice that there's a common factor of 2. So I can just simplify the 2. I just rewrite it up here. 14x minus 16 equals 0. 2x squared minus 7x minus 8 equals 0. Cancel the 2 out to get x squared minus 7x minus 8 equals 0. And you can put this into a calculator to find the roots of the equation, or you can think of two numbers that add together to get minus 7 and times together to get minus 8. And the values are x plus 1 and x minus 8. And because this is not like the area formula or a length formula where the x can be negative, that means that there's two values for x, unless the question states that the domain of x can exceed a certain value. That means that x equals minus 1 for this side, and x equals 8. Therefore, x equals minus 1, and x equals 8, right here. Then we have question 8. There are n sweets in the bag, 6 of the sweets are orange, the rest of the sweets are yellow. Hannah takes a random sweet from the bag, she eats a sweet, and takes another random from the bag, she eats a sweet. The probability of Hannah eats 2 orange sweets is 1 over 3. So this is more like a probability question. So we know that 6 of the sweets are orange and the rest are yellow. That means that yellow, the probability, the amount of yellow is n minus 6, right here. So the probability of Hannah eating 2 orange sweets is 1 over 3. So it will be this. Oops. This. It will be yellow and orange. And then it will be yellow and orange. Then here, yellow and orange. So we know that Hannah doesn't put the sweets back, so you can select minus from the bottom, like minus from the total amount. So the probability of yellow is n over 6 over n, and the probability of orange is 6 over n. And we're only concerned of 2 orange sweets because Hannah takes 2 orange sweets. So orange will be 5 because she's taken 1 out, over n minus 1 because she doesn't replace the sweet, so the bottom has to be minus by 1 and the top has to be minus by 1 because 1 orange has been taken out. So for the probability of Hannah taking 2 orange sweets, we'll be using this root, an orange and an orange. So it will be 6 over n times 5 over n minus 1 equals 1 over 3. It will be 30 over n minus 1 equals 1 over 3. If we cross multiply it, it will be 3 times 30, which is 90, equals n minus 1. And then if you simplify this, it will be 90 equals n squared minus n, which therefore means, let me just rub the left hand side out, which therefore means n squared minus n minus 90, if you rearrange the equation to bring all of it in one side. and that's QED right here. So to find how many suites are in the back using the quadratic formula to simplify and find to find n. So you have to find two values which add together to get -1 and times together to get -90. And because -90 is a big number, you might consider to use the quadratic formula, but you can also use a calculator, which simplifies to n minus 10 and n plus 9 equals 0. So this will leave us with n equals 10 and n equals -9. And you can't have a negative number of suites in the back, or else it'll be like a black hole. So no negative. That final answer is n equals 10 suites. That means that n equals 10 suites. So moving on, we have question 9. Solve the equation of 2 to the power of n squared over 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of 6 equals 1. So it's an indices question and a quadratic equation question. So what I would do is that I would first times the denominator by both sides to get rid of the denominator. So 2 to the power of n squared over 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of x equals 1. I would times it over here to get 2 to the power of n squared equals 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of 6. So in this is when you have a times, the power add together. So equal to 2 to the power of n squared equals 2 to the power of n plus 6. And in this is when you have the same base, the power are equal to each other. Therefore, it's n squared equals n plus 6. So bring all terms to one side to get n squared minus n minus 6. Equals 0. So you have to find two terms or two numbers that add together to get -1 and times together to get -6. So let's just write it out first. And equals 0. So it could be plus 3 and minus 2. Actually, no, minus 3 and plus 2. So minus 3 plus 2. Therefore, this means, let me just write it out here. And minus 3 and plus 2, because minus 3 plus 2 is -1 equals 0. Therefore, there are two values for n, which are n equals 3 for this, and n equals -2. Therefore, n equals -2 or n equals 3. In question 10, solve this. Solve 5x squared plus 2x minus 4 equals 0. Give your solutions in three significant figures. So know that whenever it says given to three significant figures, you have to use the quadratic formula, which is basically x equals minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And you can substitute all the coefficients in to get minus 2 plus or minus b squared, which is 2 squared, 4 minus 4ac, which is 4 times 4 minus 4 times 5, and c is minus 4, which is 4 minus 80 or plus 80, which is 84. So it will be 84 on the inside, over 2a, 2 times 5 or 2 times a is 10. So it will be minus 2 plus or minus 84 over 10. So you have two solutions here, and you need to give the solutions in three significant figures. So you have to put this value right here into your calculator, and you first have to put minus 2 plus root 84 over 10, which is, let me just see, probably my calculator, it'll be 0.717, or you can put you have to put minus 2 minus root 84 over 10, which is just minus 1.12, and that's our final answer. So x has to be minus 1.12 or 0.717. And question 11, solve x squared plus minus 10x plus 18, giving your solutions to three significant figures. And as we see just now, because it says three significant figures, you have to use the quadratic formula or equation. So this, as usual, b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Input some values in. Minus b, it will be 10, plus or minus b squared minus 4ac, it will be minus 10 squared minus 4 times 1 times 18, which is 100. 100 minus 4 times 18, which is 100 minus 72, which is just, let me just see, equals 28. So it will be 28 in the inside over 2a, 2 times 1, because a is just 1, it will be 2. So it will be 10 plus or minus root 28 over 2. So you can just put this in your calculator as well. We have to put 10 plus root 28 over 2, which is 5 plus root 7, or 7.65, and 10 minus root 28 over 2, which is 5 minus root 7, or 2.35. And that's our final answer, which is just x equals 2.35, x equals 7.65. And that's our answers. And question 12, Ivan is a short putter, and the formula this has given a height, this, write down the value of t, correct to this. So the height formula here is h equals 2 plus 6t minus 5t squared as given in the question. And write down the value of t, giving your answers correct to 3 significant figures, and 3 is the short hits the ground after t seconds. So you can use the quadratic formula to find t, which is just a small t. So it will be small equation. Because this has no x or y, it will be t equals minus b minus plus minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a, like so. So you can put some values. Let me write it just here. Minus 6 plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac is equal to 36 minus 4 times 2 and minus 5, which is, if you put in your calculator, let me just do it right here. 36 minus 4 times 2 times minus 5 gets us 76. So root 76 over 2 times minus 5 is minus 10. And if you put this into your calculator, you will get two values because you have to do minus 6 plus root 76 over minus 10, which is the first answer of negative 0.272. And if you do the other way, minus 6 minus root 76 over minus 10, it will be 1.47. And these values are the t because this is basically equal to t. So we can't have a negative time because time can't be negative. So this is automatically not applicable. Therefore, the final answer is 1.47 seconds. So therefore, t equals 1.47 seconds. So moving on, we have question 13. Here's a hexagon right here. And in the diagram, all the measurements are in centimeters and right angles. So like this. Show that the area of the hexagon is 40 centimeters square and show that it's this, and solve this and this. So we can't just find the area of this polygon right here because it's impossible. It's not like a square shape. So we can just split this into this. So it will be this side right here, 1 and 2. So you can find this length right here by doing 4x minus 3 minus 4. Therefore it will be 4x minus 3 minus 4. Minus 3 minus 4 is minus 7. So it will be this. So you can find the area of both of these now by doing a1 equals 4x minus 7 times x plus 1, which is 4x squared. 4x times 1 plus minus 7x. So 4 minus 7 is minus 3x minus 7. So it will be number 1. And a2 is just 4 times 3x, which is 12x, 2. So the total area is a1 plus a2, or 4x squared, minus 3x plus 12 is basically 12 minus 3, which is plus 9x, minus 7. As you can see, this, and this. So we know that the area is 40 centimeters square, so we can just write it here, 4x squared plus 9x minus 7 equals 40. And just write it down here. We can just rearrange all of it to one side, which is just 4x squared plus 9x, minus 7 minus 40, which is minus 47, equals 0. And write QED. And solve this equation, giving you answers in 3 significant figures. So we need to use the quadratic formula, which is x equals minus b, this right here, minus 4ac, over 2a, and just rub the top out. This here, and the quadratic formula, minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a equals minus 9 plus or minus, so b squared minus 4ac is basically 9 squared minus 4 times minus 47, and if you type it in your calculator, which I'll do right now, it will be 9 squared minus 4 times minus 47, which is 833, oops, 33, over 2a, a is 4, so over 8, and you have two solutions for x because there's plus and minus, and the minus one will usually get you a smaller number, so if you put in your calculator, minus 9 plus root 833 all over 8, it will get us with 2.48, and consequently if you put minus 9 minus root 833, it will be minus 4.73, which is not what we want. So because we know that x can't be a negative, so this is discarded. So that's the final answer. X equals 2.48. Therefore, x equals 2.48 centimeter. In question 14, given that f of x equals 4, so this equals 4, find the possible values of x and give you answers in this form where a, p, q, and r are positive integers. So we can cross multiply this. So f of x equals x minus 3 plus x plus 2 all over x plus 2 times x minus 3 equals 4. So you can simplify the top to get, right here, 2x minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1, x squared minus 3 times x plus 2x is minus 3x plus 2x, which is just minus x, minus 6 equals 4. So it will be 2x minus 1 equals 4x squared minus 4x, minus 24. And let's just write it up here, rewrite it. So 2x minus 1 equals 4x squared minus 4x minus 24. We can rearrange all of it to get to one side, which is 4x squared. Minus 4 minus 2 is minus 6x. And minus 24 plus 1 is minus 23 equals 0. So let's just rub this out. We can use the quadratic formula as well. X equals minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a, which is 6 plus or minus. The discriminant is basically minus 6 b squared minus 4ac, which is minus 6 squared, which is 36, minus 4 minus 3. And if you put into a calculator, which I'll do right now, 36 minus 4 times minus 23, you get this 404, so it'll be 404. So you can see right here how they relate, this and this and this, using these values. So it will be all over 2a, 2 times the a value, the a is 4, so it will be over 8. So we want to simplify this using this, where p, q, and r are positive integers. And we can just simplify the third right here, and this value right here to get to simplify with the 8. And to save time here, I'll just use my calculator to simplify. But in the actual exam, you have to write all your workings out. So it will be 3 plus root 1 over 1 over 4, or plus or minus, and that's the final answer. So the final answer is x equals 3 plus or minus root 101 over 4. And question 15, the quadratic formula to solve the quadratic equation, she substitutes a value into the formula and correctly gets this. And work out the quadratic equation that Alison is solving, giving you answers in the form of this. So we know that the quadratic formula is x equals minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So immediately we can compare some values. This equals this, 4 equals this, and the inside here equals this. So we can work out b and a straight away. B is just equal to 7, and a is 2, and you have to do some calculations to find c. It's basically 4ac equals 32, and we know a is 2, so it will be this, and 8c equals 32, and c equals 32 over a, which is 4. So you have all the values right here. Therefore, the final answer is the a value is 2, x squared, plus b value is 7, 7x, and the c value is plus 4, equals 0. And question 16, the diagram shows a rectangle right here. The width of the rectangle is x cm, and the length of the diagonal is 12 cm. The perimeter of the rectangle is 28 centimeters. Find the possible values of x, giving the values correct to 3 significant figures. So we can use the Pythagoras theorem to find this length right here. It's basically, let's say, a, b, c. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We're trying to find out what b squared is. So it'll be b squared equals c squared minus a squared, which is b squared equals c squared is 12 times 12 is 144 minus x squared, and b will be root 144 minus x squared. So the parameter is this, so we know that 2b plus 2x equals 28, b plus x is 14 because you factorize the 2 out of all of it. So it will be root 144 minus x squared, plus x equals 14. We can bring the x to the other side to get root 144 minus x squared equals 14 minus x. You can square both sides to get 144 minus x squared equals 14 minus x squared. And if you simplify the right hand side, let me just do it right here. 14 minus x, 14 minus x. 14 times 14 or 14 squared will get us 196 minus 28x plus x squared. So it will be, you combine number 1 and number 2 together to get 144 minus x squared equals 196 minus 28x plus x squared. You bring all of it to one side to get 2x squared minus 28x and 196 minus 144, which will get us plus 52 equals 0. And they are all quite a big number, and that's why you can simplify all of it by 2. That you can factorize by 2. And let's work this out. It will be x squared minus 14x. 52 divided by 2 will get us 26. And 26 right here, like so. This and this, they are equal to each other. So use the quadratic formula to get x squared equals minus b squared plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. To get this, I'll just simplify it quicker so that we don't get this, take this video too long. So it'll be 14 plus minus square root of 92 divided by 2a, 2. And if you put into a calculator, the 14 plus root 92 and 14 minus root 92, they're both positive. That means that they are more than one value. And you can see here possible values. So if you put 14, let's put in your calculator, 14 plus root 92 over 2, it will be 7 plus root 23, or 11.796, but in 3 significant figures, so it will be 12.0. And the other one, 14 minus root 92 over 2, 7 minus root 23, which is 2.20. Therefore, the possible values of x are 2.20 centimeters, or x equals 12.0 centimeters. Then we have 17. Find the exact solutions of x plus 3 over x equals 7. So we have this right here. We can times all of it by x, so it will be x squared plus 3 equals 7x. Bring it to one side, x squared minus 7x plus 3 equals 0. And use the quadratic formula, which is just x equals root minus b plus minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And just input the values, 7 plus or minus b squared is 49, b squared is minus 7 squared, which is 49. 49 squared minus 4 times by a, which is just 1, and times by c, which is just 3. So it will be 49 minus 12, which is 37. Divided by 2a, 2 is 2, and a is just 1, so it will be this. And if you put it into a calculator, you have to put it into the simplest form. And I don't seem to be able to put it in the simple form because that's already the simplest form and there's no they're all like prime numbers. So that's the final answer. Therefore, x equals 7 plus or minus root 37 over 2. And question 18, solve 2 over y squared plus 9 over y minus 7 equals 0. So what you can do is that you can times all values by y squared, so it will be 2 plus 9y squared, which is just 9y squared over y will be 9y minus 7y squared equals 0. Times all of it by negative to get 7y squared minus 9y minus 2 equals 0. Use the quadratic equation to get the values right here. Right here, it will be minus b, which is just 9, plus or minus, actually no, it will be y equals y. So 9 plus or minus root b squared, which is just 9 minus 9 squared. Minus 9 squared is 81. 81 minus 4 times 7 times minus 2. 4 times 7 times minus 2. It will get us 137 over 2a. A is 14, so it will be a is 7. 7 times 2 is 14, so it will be 14. And you have to convert this into 3 significant figures. So if you put into a calculator, you get 2 values. You first put 9 plus root 9 plus root 137 over 14. You will get us with 1.48. And if you do 9 minus root 137 over 14, you get negative 0.193. So that's our final answer. So y could be minus 0.193 and y equals 1.48. And question 19, use the graph to find estimates for the solutions of x squared minus 4x minus 6. So we know that the graph shows this equation and you have to find the solutions of this. So we have to somehow, right here, get this equation right here to match with this. So if you plus both sides by plus 4, it will be x squared minus 4x. Minus 6 plus 4 is minus 2, 4. And that's what we're matching with. So that's the graph we already have, and we have to plot this graph. So we know that essentially y equals 4 and y equals x squared minus 4x minus 2. So you have to plot the line of y equals 4 right here. So if you draw a straight line right here in the graph, let's just draw 4. Let's just draw like on like y equals minus 4. It will be somewhere like this. The two roots are this right here and this right here. Y equals minus 4, like minus 4, this whole straight line. So it's quite blurry, but we can kind of see the root. So the root, and let's just change to a smaller color. So right here, just go straight down. So it will be negative 1.2, negative 1.4, between negative 1.2 and negative 1.4. So the first solution will be negative 1.3. And the other solution is, let's see, the 4 line. The 4 line is right here. Oops, the 4 line is right here. So it will be here. And it's roughly down here, which is just 5.2. Because it lies on the x equals 5.2. 5.2. So therefore the final answers are x equals minus 1.3, minus 1.30, and x equals 5.20. And lastly, the graph shows y equals x cubed minus 3x squared plus 5. So draw a suitable straight line on the grid to find the solutions for x cubed equals minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 4 equals 0. So let's just write it down. X squared minus 3x squared. So x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 4 equals 0. So we have to get this equation right here to match with this equation. So we have to minus 2x by both sides. Minus 2x. And we have to, let's see, plus 1 to both sides. So it will be x squared minus x cubed minus 3x squared minus 2x minus 2x is basically 0x. And 4 plus 1 is 5. This equals minus 2x plus 1. So it will be a negative graph. So let's just set two values right here. When x equals 0, wait, so let's just write this, y equals minus 2x plus 1. Find two coordinates. When x equals 0, y equals 1, because y is 0, 1. And if y equals 0, x will be 1 over 2. And let's just put these 2 points, 0, 1. So 0 right here and 1 right here. And other one, 1 over 2 and 0. So it'll be this point right here. And you need to find more points so that you can have a more straighter line. So let's do when x equals minus 1. When x equals minus 1, it will be minus 2 times minus 1 plus 1, which is 3. So when x equals minus 1, y is 3. So minus 1 right here, y is 3, 1, 2, 3. It will be here. So you have a relatively straight line. So let me just try to draw a straight line because I'm not sure how I would be able to draw a straight line on this app. Unless I find... It's fine, I'll just draw a straight line. So it will be roughly this. So this would be our answer because it's the intercept. Right here. Because as you can see, if this straight line goes straight for like forever, it won't touch any of the cubic graph. So this is the only answer, and this is minus 0.2, minus 0.4, minus 0.6, and minus 0.8. It's between minus 0.75 and minus 0.8, and I'll say it's minus 0.78. So we'll just do it as x equals minus 0.78. And therefore our final answer is that x equals negative 0.78. And that's our final answer. And that's it for this hopefully not long video of a questions only for quadratic expressions and equations. And I hope you'll find it useful and helpful, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you have any comments or constructive feedbacks about my channel or my videos or my website, just drop that in the comment section and I'll reply to all of them. And check out my social media in the description for more content like Instagram or LinkedIn or other social medias. And if you need any more resources like learning resources or teaching resources, check out my website in the description, or you can type it out in your browser at www.MakesItEasy.com. And I hope you'll find it useful and helpful, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will be rules and examples for coordinate geometry, which will be an interesting topic. But until then, stay safe and happy learning.